Time now for business. We say hello to Yuka Royer.
Bonsoir.
We begin with a topic that's been talked about quite a lot recently, and that is the problem with fast fashion. We buy what? 5 times more clothes than we did 20 years ago, and it comes at a cost, all this cheap clothing, a cost to those who make the clothes.
That's right. And the garment and footwear sector has been facing increasing scrutiny over its carbon footprint and potential use of forced labor. Now, a major meeting is taking place here in Paris, bringing together government, business, and civil society leaders to discuss how to ensure due diligence in the industry. Among the speakers is Kalpona Akter, a founder of the Bangladesh Center for Worker Solidarity. Herself a former garment factory worker, she played a key role in urging Western fashion brands to sign on to landmark worker safety accord following the Rana Plaza factory collapse in 2013. Now, she joins us from the OECD headquarters to discuss more. Kalpona, thank you so much for joining us. Now, first of all, tell us about your own journey. You began working at a garment factory in Bangladesh at the age of 12. How were working conditions back then, and how have they changed, especially after the Rana Plaza tragedy?
Mm-hmm. First of all, thank you for having me. So my journey wasn't smooth, of course, without knowing the law and rights. I joined in the factory. But gradually I educated myself with the law and rights, and fought for myself and then for my co-workers. But nothing has been started changing until we speak up. So organizing, joining with union, and fighting for our own rights was like first step, and then accountable to these manufacturers, to the government, as well as brands, was like later on the steps that we had to take to make our lives differences. So in those days when I started working, it was long shifting hour, like 18 hours was common. I would be getting $6 a month, working over 400 hours, but that is not there anymore. And as you mentioned that after Rana Plaza change that's happened, the most changes we got, it is area of safety, but still workers are getting poverty wages. If we talk about organizing, there's still difficulties there. If workers try to join with union, bid and trade and forcibly leaving the working and premises is very common, and they face criminal charges as well. So we need to keep talking on that, and the brands need to be awake themselves, and thinking about these workers who is making clothes for them. They need to know that the wages that our workers make, 12,500 taka a month, which is like around like $95, is not enough for them. And we really don't want all of their profit they mix, but we really don't want it to put ourselves in disturbing making clothes for this Western brand. We really need a living wage to lead our life, to buy our daily necessities.
So your organization is still working to get those essential rights for the workers?
Totally. It is our fight. Like my organization, Bangladesh Center for Worker Solidarity, we are constantly educating workers and, fighting for our rights. We are bringing workers' voice center of the table in every discussion. That is climate change, that is just transition, that is union organizing, that is wages, safe workplace, everything. So it would be our constant fight until we get our jobs with dignity.
Now, the fashion industry has one of the longest and most complex supply chains. Recently, French sportswear company Decathlon had to defend its human rights record after media reports accused it of sourcing materials from Xinjiang in China. So even though new rules and guidelines have been introduced, including the EU's due diligence directive, how difficult is it to enforce them?
It is not difficult to enforce them if you really wanted to do that, okay? But if you have a guidance or if you have a law, but that it says mandatory but not enforceable, that's the problem. So we need a mandatory due diligence guideline, but with an enforceable mechanism and with strong monitoring. I think if we don't have that, then any due diligence or any law will be not make difference. We need due diligence enforceable and a strong monitoring process, and of course access to remedy, like people like us who are get hurt by all these companies saying something and doing different thing. We should get access to make them accountable. I think that will make having a bunch of law in here.
And how can consumers then make sure that the clothes they're wearing weren't made with forced labor or using cotton from Xinjiang, for instance?
I'm sorry, I just didn't
Yep.
hear wholly your question.
How can I make sure that the clothes I'm wearing is not
Yeah.
made with forced labor?
You as a consumer need to ask more question to the store or even online, that you wanted to know more about these workers who made your clothes. Just go beyond the price, style, color, and size. I think you need to go beyond that and asking question to the store manager first, and that will be ringing bell in the boss's offices, that the consumer asking more question. Like now these days, consumers just go to the store or online buying the clothes, but they didn't ask anything. So it is consumers' responsibility. We're also diet conscious. The jobs we have, we definitely need them, but we want them with dignity. And that dignity only come if consumers step up, ask more question, ask that how much we get for this garment that we make. Whether we get living wage, is this a factory safe? It is forced labor free or not? So as long as consumers start asking those questions, I think that will make differences.
Is there the momentum for change then, do you see?
It is a momentum to make the changes, because when we have the due diligence, though still it does have a lot of hurdles, but it has been taken because we can make the improvement. And also, if I talk about my country, it's a political paradigm shift. We also thinking to there is a communication channel has been opened up, and we believe that if we can start organizing, that will make difference. And here I think the due diligence gives a hope, but that need to be make enforceable, as well as include the smaller companies on it and making them accountable as well. Those things will be make difference.
Well, Kalpona Akter, founder of the Bangladesh Center for Worker Solidarity, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for business.
All right. Ask when you go to the store where the clothes were made. Many thanks, Yuka Royer.